started. I just tweeted it out, so we'll
start flowing in here soon.
Yep. We'll give people just a second to start joining up.
There it is.
There we go. Awesome. Here we go. Let's do it, y'all. Welcome to today's Twitter Space. Super pumped to get started. As usual, you got myself, Eric Parker, CEO of Giddy.
How's it going? Brendan here again, Chief of Product. Hey everybody, Travis Tidball, VP of Marketing.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
So a minute since we've done one of these.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So we want to recap what's been going on. We got back from permissionless. That was awesome. We'll talk about some news and some current events and stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. So gotta find here we go. Awesome. Yeah, sweet. So yeah, what's been going on in crypto land lately? There's a little bit of a downturn in the market. I think people are pretty aware, right? Is that news or is that yeah, so as things cycle is just kind of what happens. We saw a huge cycle in 2017, right? When kind of got kicked off by the SEC putting a stop to public ICOs and the way that those were getting organized. It kind of put a halt to things. So that was a true bear market. It was a down cycle, and it lasted kind of for a while until like DeFi summer happened, right? So, and not that I'm necessarily planning on getting into this too deeply, but I think that our cycles are going to get shorter, and I think they're going to get less volatile and less intense as more money and more liquidity flows into crypto.
For sure.
But we are definitely seeing a little bit of a downturn. So the interesting thing, well, there's a lot of interesting things, but in the news lately, some relatively important or noteworthy things. Andreessen Horowitz raised another, I think it's their fourth fund for they call it the A16 crypto. They raised $4.5 billion to fund crypto and Web3 companies. They are pretty public about loving to invest in bear markets. They clearly are not shy about gathering a bunch more money for investing in crypto. And they said that about a third of this new fund, about a third of this $4.5 billion will be for seed investments. So brand new companies.
So go out there and raise some money. If you're starting a company,
go out there and raise some money is
There's
right.
People that want to give you money.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think I've heard the phrase, what is it? The fortunes are made in bear markets, but they're reaped in the bull markets. So basically all these investments now, those companies are going to have to earn a lot of scar tissue to get through some challenging times, but that's going to forge them into something a lot stronger and better. And then when everything looks good, that's when the investments are actually being pulled back and they're actually sort of capitalizing on the money that they put in during the hard times.
Totally. Absolutely. Sure. So what this means, I think that the next time we see a big bump, and who knows what it's going to be spurred by, I'm completely speculating here, but maybe we get friendly regulation or regulation at all that gives us a framework to work within. Maybe that's our next big bump. Maybe we get, Giddy. We solve this usability problem. We onboard the next 5 or 10 million people, and other companies that are trying to solve this problem as well help, the next big boom cycle. I think what this means, if I'm reading the tea leaves from Andreessen, they're looking at the next big boom cycle to be 100 times bigger than the last one. They're looking at 100 times more users, more liquidity, more rules, more regulation, more things that make it just totally upswing and really change the face of what our economy looks like over the next little while. So really interesting stuff from Andreessen. They're investing in bear markets. They're investing in new ideas. They love this whole thing. This is their jam. So kind of an exciting thing from them. Another really awesome milestone, Uniswap announced that they hit $1 trillion in total trade volume since they started in 2018. Most of that trade volume was in 2021. It kind of got started in DeFi summer, and then the year of 2021 was just going nuts. People used the absolute crap out of Uniswap and other dexes for that matter. And to me, this is it's really, really bullish for the right reasons. To me, what this says is we are discovering which business models, which revenue models work on the blockchain. So Uniswap, they did $1 trillion trade volume. They're earning revenue on those trades.
Right.
They're earning revenue running a business that is on the blockchain. It's decentralized. It's a DEX. It's an AMM model. So to me, what this signals is that we will continue to find models that work on the blockchain. The revenue is from running and doing legitimate business. We'll continue to get away from other protocols and models that are just inflationary, right? These other protocols that they provide,
temporary massive gains.
right, 50,000% APR.
Clearly not sustainable.
Exactly, not sustainable. So it's really, really a bullish signal to me that we're finding more awesome revenue models. And again, who knows what's going to spur the next big bull cycle? But I think this is going to be a huge contributor to that.
And as that value is discovered and invented and created, Giddy will be right there to connect people to it to participate. There's going to be these consumer apps that are going to continue to bring that value right to the regular old Joe.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice thing about Giddy. We get to play nice with everybody. That was one thing that stood out to me at Permissionless Conference. Like all these different companies that we saw out there, all these different people doing different projects. We get to be a part of that because we're a wallet. We can be agnostic for specific tokens. We can play nice, have a lot of fun with a bunch of different people and partner up with them, which is a good spot to be in.
Yes,
absolutely. Ethereum merge has been talked about. Some news has been ramping up there.
Yep.
So the Ethereum Foundation, those developers, they started doing new ETH2 proof of stake nodes on the test network.
Yep.
There's been some other things happening as well, but essentially what we're looking at is the Ethereum network going from around 15 transactions per second. It's 10 or 15. I think it's 15. To it's supposed to be like 100,000 transactions per second.
Yeah, they're looking to go massive on this. So it's been a huge integration kind of mess to make that transition. That's why it's been taking so long. If anyone's worked in software, you can imagine something that massive it's huge. It's really hard to get it right, but apparently they're close. So we have our fingers crossed.
Yeah, they're close, and security is a very big deal here. They're looking at requiring over 16,000 nodes to run this proof of stake network. So it's still going to be sufficiently decentralized to offer a lot of security.
Is it 100 ETH to be a validator?
I thought it was 32.
Or maybe it's 32.
But is it 100?
I forget.
I don't know that number either.
Okay.
I could be pulling 32 from some other network.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's 32.
Okay.
I looked into
32 ETH.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I looked into it and quickly decided that was not for me.
Right.
For a number of reasons.
No,
one of which is financial.
Right this second would be a pretty decent time to get a bunch of friends together and get that 32 ETH if you can
set
swing
up,
it.
And you guys can. I don't know if Giddy will be able to connect anyone. That could be an interesting thing to explore there.
Yeah. But, so what does this mean? I think that we're going to see cheaper ETH transactions, mostly because of decreased demand because the market's down.
Right.
I think when ETH2 rolls out, we are going to see increased demand. We're going to see cheaper transactions still while demand catches up. But in my opinion, I think that we're still ultimately going to need layer 2 scaling solutions. Vitalik has been talking about this for a little while. And as we get the next 5, 10, 100 million people into DeFi, we are going to need more scaling solutions.
Absolutely.
So ETH layer 2, it reduces the energy consumption by a lot. It scales like crazy. There's a lot of other really cool scaling things like parachains, like these virtual chains that can get spun up and spun back down. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. They're looking at maybe September. They said maybe October. This is one of those things where it's done when it's done. They can't get it wrong.
We'll be paying very close attention to that progress. Our whole jam is bringing DeFi to people that are, maybe more beginner, regular consumers. They're not familiar with these massive gas fees. If Ethereum's able to lower those gas fees and increase bandwidth and it becomes more viable for our target audience, we will absolutely look at bringing some Ethereum pools and opportunities onto the platform sooner than we might have done in the past. So.
For sure. Yeah. It's a huge advantage to being chain agnostic like we're building out here.
Yep.
Okay. One last thing to note that is noteworthy in my opinion. Japan announced that they set up a legal framework for stablecoins. The whole purpose behind this is to protect consumers. This is obviously close on the heels of the Terra UST collapse. $18 billion of value disappeared. So they are setting up a framework that will allow people to legally set up and run and distribute a stablecoin. It's meant to be run. So the kinds of entities and institutions that can start doing a stablecoin are like banks, trusts, money transfer companies. But the point is that if you want to get into this business, now there's a legal framework for doing it. And again, the purpose for this is it's going to be tied to fiat currency. It's going to be tied to a yen or other legal tender. It's supposed to guarantee redemption of this stablecoin at face value. So it's going to be backed basically dollar for dollar, or yen for yen, what have you. So what does this mean? And my take on this is that immediately it doesn't mean anything for the United States, but I think that we're going to see other countries start to follow suit. I think that we're going to see other governments look at the success or failure of this and try to start doing their own kind of regulation. I think what this really means is that the more that we get standardized solutions and regulation around stablecoin, the more that we can start to trust it, the more that we can say, I am pretty confident that this stablecoin isn't going to depeg, right? I'm pretty confident that I'm not just going to lose all of my money. And I think what that means is that more regular people are going to start trusting cryptocurrency more.
Right.
So if we have a really well-used, established, and backed go-between from the blockchain to real life, I think that's honestly how we bridge from these on-chain only sort of like virtual businesses to the real world. Can you imagine using USDC to pay your mortgage, to buy McDonald's, and to invest into Uniswap and all these other protocols? Like that's how we bridge the gap. That's how we get a lot of liquidity into the market. And I really, 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 really hope that when the US gets around to this regulation, that it's friendly and that it's flexible and that it promotes economic growth instead of stifling it. But to me, this is another bullish signal that says that like this is going in the right direction. It's growing. Governments are looking at it. They want to be a part of this new movement. And I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see how what form it takes.
It's exciting to see like these high GDP countries, technologically advanced countries, adopting these kinds of policies. It's really, really exciting for the space. I think the U.S. is clearly going to be taking note of these things and hopefully following suit. So
yeah.
Let's
jump
let's
jump into permissionless. I just have to give a quick shout out to Travis. He orchestrated and implemented and executed an amazing permissionless for us. He was the one that found the DeLorean. He was the one that put together our backdrop. Just huge kudos and just man, super awesome. So tell us a little bit about permissionless, Travis.
Yeah, for sure. And we haven't done a Twitter space since permissionless, right? So we haven't even talked. Oh man,
we haven't even, it's been a minute because we had Cryptopia and all this stuff.
Man, it's been I mean, look, events are a huge commitment, both in time and effort, and really sort of everything else that you've got to put together to make it possible. So yes, a couple of cool things came out of that. I mean, more than we're going to be able to share just during this time. We were given the unofficial Best Attention Getter Award with the DeLorean, so I'm gonna like pat myself on the back a tiny bit on that one.
It broke people's brains.
It totally did.
They saw it and it was like moths to the light. It was like it was making a trek across this whole entire conference to come see this car. It was awesome.
It was, I mean, everybody, it just resonated with them in such a unique way. I think they just, the love of the movie, I think just the love of the concept and being, going to the future. And we had a lot of fun with it, saying, we've been to the future and we brought DeFi back with it, and we're able to have some good conversations off of it. So, but it was a good reminder that where we are is as a company, we are helping create experiences for people, helping them feel good about some of these opportunities. And you sort of have to have these baseline things done. You have to feel secure. You have to feel all these different things. But at the end of the day, it's an experience. And we can build all these great features, and we will build all these great features, but it has to come together in a way that people have a ton of fun and they're able to actually get all the joy and feel giddy, as cliche as that is. So that was pretty cool. We also got a nice write-up from Block Telegraph. So thank you, Block Telegraph, for writing all about the booth. And
that was an awesome shout out.
They even had us, I think, on their homepage right from the get-go when you logged into it.
Big old banner with the DeLorean and stuff. It looked great. And the cactus too. Cactus NFT. Front and center.
So we set a goal for 500 app downloads. So 500 people being added to the wait list. And we tallied up the numbers, and we actually landed about 800 people added to the wait list during those days that we were there at permissionless. So,
which is saying something, because the internet was so bad.
It was so bad. Yeah.
Thousands of bodies in that thing, and it was just not, it was at a snail's pace. So the people who downloaded it were high intention. They really needed that on their phone.
That's a good point. And even before and after the conference too, we saw a big bump compared to where we were normally. So, I think the biggest takeaway here was, man, there's just so much interest from the people that were also not only just there, but the people that were exhibiting, saying like, hey, what's actually happening over here? Oh, wow, this is the technology you've got. Like, you can see there are these light bulb moments for people, and they're like, oh yeah, these are the things that we need to be paying attention to and solving. So I mean, I don't know, do you want to kind of get a quick glimpse of some of the connections that we made? I know I'd love to hear from what you guys said.
We made great connections across the board, a lot of potential partnerships, had really good chats with some payment processors, met with the head of DeFi at Polygon. They were super excited about what we're doing. We've had subsequent talks with those guys. A bunch of people from the Ledger booth came over. We're loving the DeLorean. We want to hopefully do some kind of an integration with our private key management in collaboration with the Ledger device. Down the road, we'll see if we can make something work. Just tons of good connections. We talked to the Beefy guys.
Oh, Beefy team. We love the Beefy team.
Shout out to the Beefy guys. We love you guys. Great stuff from them. Who else?
Yeah, there's some other service providers that we're looking at adding more data about the blockchain. So DeFi Safety, I'm a huge fan. They have a Twitter account. If you don't know, you can go follow. they do risk analysis and audits for different like earning strategies, and also teams and code audits, stuff like that.
Go to CoinGecko and look at any DeFi coin and scroll to the bottom. They have a security section. You can see their work. We're interested in similar features.
Yep, so. They integrated DeFi Safety. We also have there's Coin Tracker, there's Sardine, there's other companies that we're looking at for all of our various different parts of our app, all of our services. Yeah. So it was really, really successful in terms of just getting some face time with big players in the space. We've made these connections, and we're already kind of talking to these people. So it's really going to help us develop this app as we continue to like flesh out features and continue development here.
And we got just a good pulse on the need for what we're building was reiterated time and time again down there. You expect at a crypto conference, and this happened at Cryptopia, you think everyone that's there is going to be neck deep in DeFi and they're degens and they know what's going on. There's so many people that I talk to that haven't even bought crypto yet. And so it's just like there's such a low-hanging fruit out there to getting people into DeFi.
I think my favorite comment from that on that note, I was explaining to somebody what our app does and what our company does and everything. He was sitting in the DeLorean taking a picture. And I was like, yeah, this is the easiest way to stake. You can go like just tap one button and you can start earning passive income. And he looked at me and he was like, you can do that from inside this car? Like, no. Yeah. We're not a car company.
There
like
was a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
People like, wait, so you make DeLoreans?
Yeah. Your company is time machines? Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
No, I think if there's one word that I could use to sort of summarize the whole conference, it's probably just validating. Like it just totally validated, I think, from, these companies that maybe we've looked up to in the past and that we interacted with just as degens, like wanting to get staked into different things and seeing like, wow, these are companies we talk to and like they see the value of it. But then the people that visited, whether they immediately got it or they didn't get it, but they recognized all of the benefits and what needed to happen to actually be able to get into this process and bring it mainstream. So it just felt, it was a good reminder that we absolutely have a very big mission with a lot of work to do, and we have to stay the course and not get too distracted by other things. And that mission for us is building the app and making it as easy as possible for everybody to get into DeFi.
Yes,
absolutely. And that's actually a pretty good segue into what we want to talk about next, which is our token. If you remember, and we've reiterated this a lot, the purpose of the token, the reason that we launched it is it's the delivery method for technology that we're building into staking crypto on the blockchain. The purpose for the token, the reason it exists, is to enable fast, safe, and cheap staking in the mobile app. Mm-hmm. So all that being said, the reception that we got to this token launch was shocking. It blew us away. The more that we progress and get into this, the more that I keep learning about who got into our token launch, and it's big players, it's big people who are very, very, very interested in what we're doing with this app, what we're doing with our technology, and the token launch. Like you can't really stop the market from being the market. People are going to speculate. People are going to get interested, and it kind of took on a life of its own. It as much as we were, in Discord talking about it, trying to make sure that we're level-headed. Like, don't sell your house and invest in this thing. Don't sell your 401k and invest in this thing. Right. The purpose of this token launch is to get people who are interested free Giddy tokens, because it's going to be the voting mechanism for our DAO. It'll be how you stake safely and quickly and cheaply into the app. The purpose is the technology and the utility.
Right.
So we were blown away. We were humbled. We were honored to have the reception that we did. But the market is going to do what the market does. And I think that, unfortunately, over the last couple of weeks, all of the things in the market went down. Like the token was staying pretty steady for a little bit, even while things were on the downtrend. But the market's going to do what it's going to do, and people are going to sell. They're going to go to stable coins. They're going to just pull money out of the market. It's just what happens, and this is why we were cautioning everyone to be very, very careful about what's going on with this token, because the app's not out yet. The full utility hasn't been experienced by anybody yet. So I don't think it's very clear to a lot of people like what is going to happen when the token is out and why it's going to be useful in the app. Yeah. But we just wanted to reiterate again, the reason for the token is the utility. The reason is for fast, safe, cheap staking in the mobile app. It's going to enable one-tap staking for people who literally can't figure out how to do it with their own MetaMask and with their own fiat. It's going to be absolutely revolutionary in this space. And then on top of that, the market did what it did. The token price did what it did. Yep. And that's not something that we're looking to affect or change, for legal reasons. And I hope this is super, super clear. we intentionally did not allow ourselves the ability to mint or burn token, because we absolutely cannot be seen as manipulating the price of the token. That is so far from any goal that we have, and it's we literally cannot do it with any mechanics that we have in the code.
We think of it like this: the coin was, as we began developing this app, it became apparent that there were these flaws in DeFi. You have the front running problems, the infinite approval problems, all of these things, and we wanted to find ways to patch these obvious problems in DeFi, and the coin became a necessity to kind of support that goal. And so, as Eric was saying, the coin launch, we launched it when we did for a variety of reasons. One is it's just hard to launch a coin and an app at the same time. There's the legal aspect of it. We've gone over those things before, but the coin's out there. People came and speculated, some left, but its core value is still where it needs to be in serving that long-term purpose of providing a secure and safe way to stake into the protocols we bring into our app. So speaking of the app, should we talk about some internal testing?
Let me throw one other statement though too, because I think sometimes people misunderstand what we're saying there and saying we have, we don't care what's going on. That could not be farther from the truth. I think the key point here is that the value of the token is ultimately determined by what the market sees as the value of the utility. Yeah. And that value of the utility is derived by how well that token is implemented into the application and how well the application delivers value for users.
Yes.
Right.
So
right, exactly.
Giddy's whole focus needs to be on the app, on making access to DeFi possible for the users. And as they do that, the market can recognize the value of the token. But at the end of the day, that's, as a company, we're focused on really helping people make money with their money in new and exciting ways that are made possible by DeFi.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we get this kind of a lot, and I agree. There is some confusion out there, and totally understandably, most crypto companies, most Web3 companies, they make money off the token. That's how they capitalize the company. That's how they pay employees. That's how they do further investment and growth.
And in some cases, that's why they have to mint additional tokens, right?
Precisely.
Create that inflationary mechanism.
That's exactly why tokens and crypto companies and Web3 protocols are built the way that they're built. Is they're relying on the liquidity of their token to run their business, and that's just not what we're doing. We are a plain vanilla tech company that's backed by VCs. That is, we're separating what's happening with the token on the blockchain from the economics of the company. So, I had some people approach and just kind of concerned, and understandably so, about the token price. And is the company in trouble? Like, are your employees in trouble? All this kind of stuff. And it's just, no, we're absolutely as solid as ever as a company, because we're not relying on this token to run the company. We're not capitalizing the business with it. It's why we didn't sell any of this thing. Like at the peak, there was like $11.5 million of liquidity in this token. None of the dev wallets sold. None of the company sold. We're not using token liquidity to run the business. So it's kind of a hybrid of this tech company and a Web3 company. We're doing all this stuff together. But again, the focus of the token, the reason that it exists is for utility. And Travis explained it extremely well just a second ago. I would recommend going back and listening to that again. But ultimately, the value of the token is going to be determined by what the market sees as the value of the utility. And that utility is going to be experienced and seen and felt in the mobile app.
So the TLDR, we hope the coin goes up, of course, but we hope it's because we provided amazing value, utility, and technology as part of that coin and the accompanying smart contracts that consume that coin.
Yeah. So I think it just bears repeating. We're as healthy as ever. Our plans are still on track. We're growing exactly the same as other VC-backed tech companies are growing. We're going to make the app. We're going to get some users. We're going to raise another round. So as crazy as the token has been, it's just really not the focus. And that is not to say that it's not important. Of course, we know it's important. We think about it a lot, but it's really, really important to remember where the value is. And the value is in the app and how well we can connect regular people, how well we can connect the next 5 or 10 million DeFi users to yield on the blockchain. That is where the value is. That's really what we're focused on doing.
So let's talk about that app, shall we?
Yeah.
Man, these mics are connected. Otherwise, we would have dropped one right there. That was awesome. Unfortunately, you can't drop this one.
Drop a mic. I'll just scuffle
kick it over.
So, So nobody's anxious about the mobile app, are they? They're just kind of
anxious about the mobile app.
So we are more anxious than all of you, I think, put together at how excited we are to launch this thing. So we will give you an update on how things are coming.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's feeling so good. We've been doing test flight builds out to employees internally, starting to do that internal alpha. And many of our employees hadn't seen it for a minute, right? They're building in other areas of our stack. And they were just blown away at how good the screens are looking, how easy it is to go in, pick an amount you want to stake. And with one tap, we swap it, we stake it, you're earning. And so the stake and unstake flow, we're calling it earn and redeem, a little more noob friendly. That flow is pretty much locked in. We're doing a really intense stress test next week on that. The dashboards, I don't know how much we've really talked about this. We're actually providing some nice dashboards and insights into the performance.
Kind of like Zapper,
yeah,
like DBank.
Zapper, DBank, they have kind of these analytics, dashboards, graphs, covering sort of the performance of your various positions. We're implementing that as well. We want to be a very robust financial app in all the traditional aspects. So that's coming along nicely. I think the piece that slowed us down the most from our original projections has been the fiat on and off ramp. Our partners been a little bit slow, a little bit tricky to work with. We're trying to make headway there, and we're actually very close to having an initial implementation ready. So you'll be able to buy with a credit card. You'll be able to ACH in and buy crypto directly in Giddy, as well as off ramp.
There was a couple of features that we thought were done on their end that just weren't done. So as we got into it, we realized that we were guinea pigs.
Yes.
So for better or worse, we're on the bleeding edge of this thing, which means that we are just going to have to deal with it. We're working with them. It's honestly looking pretty positive, but it did slow us down a little bit. So like Brendan said, staking and unstaking, that's a major thing, as well as the dashboard and kind of analytics about what your money is doing, how it's growing. Those are what we're testing right now. And for those of you who've been following us for a little while, those features have actually already gone to review at Apple, Apple and Google. We were not able to ship our waitlist app without fully functioning staking and unstaking.
Right.
So we're polishing it up. We're adding a ton of stuff. It's kind of the last mile stuff. Anybody listening who's worked at tech companies or understands how software development goes knows that, like, once you've got the first 90% built, all that's left to do is build the last 90%.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's there's always stuff that comes up. Adding polish is a big deal, and we want to make this as easy and delightful to use as possible. So it's all, honestly, it's looking so good. Oh man, getting it on my phone, playing with it. I'm once again giving myself FOMO by this company that we're building. Like, I cannot wait to use this thing. So it's coming along. But just so you guys know, the fiat part did slow down. It's still looking good. Like we'll be able to get it done. But it's really, really important to us to build a very good fiat product because it's just so hard to do all things crypto, including on and off ramps. Like and everybody who's bought the token or has had someone ask you, how do I get this thing? One of the biggest pains is the fiat part. So you will be able to purchase crypto directly in the Giddy app, and you'll be able to sell it. You can get it back to your bank account, which is notoriously missing in the vast majority of DeFi related wallets and apps.
And that is a piece we're keeping a really close eye on, how that fiat experience feels. If there's improvements we can make, if there's more secure ways to do it, we're going to continue to evolve that feature to make it as good as it can possibly be. There's an interesting kind of twist to that. Right now, it's really hard to buy crypto with most credit cards. You typically have to resort to a debit card. So we really want the debit card flow to be good. We want the fiat or the ACH flow to be really good. And we'll just continue iterating there. So leading into beta, we are excited to get this thing into people's hands that are not employees of the company. So that is coming soon. Asterisk.
TM. It's just how these things go. We are the whole point of this thing is to make the absolute best user experience possible. It has to be smooth. It has to work. The error states have to be really good. Our customer support has to be really good. We're spending the time to do this right because we know we're going to get one chance with people. We're going to get one chance. That our first impression is it. If the fiat doesn't work, if the staking doesn't work, if there's a weird thing with like the private keys or whatever, that's it. Like we're not going to get more opportunities to earn people's trust. So we're taking that very seriously, and we're basically spending the time that we need to get it right.
One of the big aspects that will largely go unnoticed, because it's sort of behind the scenes, is our private key management. We're literally innovating tech that does not exist, that no one else has. We've been building it for 6 months straight. Competitors have attempted.
Longer than that, but
specifically this one piece, I guess, like 7-8 months now. Other competitors have tried to do the same fiat, and I won't go into
Are
names.
you mean the same like private key
The
stuff?
same private key specifics, the same private key kind of approach to us,
right.
and they've had to bail out and resort to like a Gnosis or a contract wallet. So like it's a really difficult tech we're solving, but we're like 98% done with that piece, and it feels amazing. So getting into beta, we're still shooting for a June beta, probably at this point near the end of June. Just to be completely transparent on that, we'll always keep you guys up to date with the latest and how that's going. But we're still, fingers crossed, hoping to bring actual people in this month into the beta. We will do as much beta-ing as it takes to make this thing solid. So we've kind of been saying a summer to late summer release to go to GA. That's still kind of the target.
GA general audience, right?
Yeah,
That's when we start
a full
taking people
release taking people off the wait list. That's still the plan, but it's got to be solid. So if beta turns up bugs or different things that we needed to address, we will do that before we go live.
Yep, and we'll be starting with a pretty small beta group at first, and just kind of growing as it becomes stable.
Yep.
But we're balancing the speed at which we can develop with the need to get feedback, right? So
yes,
starting with a pretty small beta group, it means that we can handle all of the feedback really quickly. We can start turning around new features, and as it feels stable, we'll be able to bring on more people.
We will. We'll grow that beta. I'm hoping personally to get every single person that signed up to be in the beta in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the goal. And we'll have some interesting kickoffs to get people started and rolling in the beta with some kind of various ways to give us feedback and ideas and things.
I'm betting by the time we do GA, by the time it's fully released, we'll probably have over 1,000 people in this thing testing it and doing and investing in stuff.
And it's exciting. Like if anything of anything that we build, if I were you guys, be excited about just getting the app. Forget the coin, the NFTs, whatever. We have people right now in our office staked into these protocols, earning money in the Giddy app.
It's so good,
and it's amazing.
It's so good.
So. Awesome. Do you have anything?
I was just going to say, keep in mind, I mean, as a beta, we are going to be adding additional features. It is going to evolve and kind of continue to grow. So with that beta, we're looking for this to be a two-way street. We're definitely, that feedback is so critical for us. So we definitely are going to want people who are going to be hands-on with this. Don't feel like it's going to, if you are invited to it, it's not just an early access to the fully developed app. We're looking for you to kind of be our partner in helping us go through and solve some of these last sort of finishing touches.
Yeah.
So let's give a quick couple sentence brief on the NFTs, and then maybe take a couple of questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So NFTs, amazing progress there. We are done as of today with all of the individual attributes that go into generating a unique NFT. We're kicking it off to a developer who's got some custom code to actually spit those NFTs out. So, and there's a lot of attributes we haven't revealed yet. So be excited. There's going to be a ton of fun attributes you haven't seen that we'll just let people discover them. We're not even going to spoil them.
For sure. We're waiting on those reveals until it's totally live. It's going to be really fun.
And then related to the NFTs, our reward program, we've kind of hinted at a few times. We're putting the polishing touches on that thing, and we will unveil that and how the NFTs play into that. How do the perks actually work? How do the rewards work? That's all coming very soon as well, probably within a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
So finally, questions?
Yeah, let's kick it over to some questions for a few minutes. I think it's probably fine to go for another 5 or 10 minutes, whatever.
Today, but it's been a minute.
So it's been a minute, so that we can do a longer update. So if you have a question, do the request thing in the Twitter space, and we'll bring you up and stuff. So I guess while we're waiting on that, if anyone, like I said, if anyone has any questions, do the request thing. Our main focus really from now probably till the end of the year is just app. Getting staking done, getting fiat done, polishing everything, and also doing kind of like our perks and rewards program. That's a big deal. Just making sure that like there's incentives there for people who are engaged and early, engaged and early, and we want to make sure that you guys get breaks on fees and breaks on fiat and all of those things that are just going to make sense to keep people engaged and stuff. Okay, haven't seen anybody raise their hand yet, so if we don't have anything pop up in the next minute or so, we'll
just wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
So on that point, we do want all you guys that have been early and hanging with us. We do want to reward you with those NFTs and make them be pretty impactful into this program. So you'll have a huge head start over everyone else on getting into that perks program. At the end of the day, we want the perks program to basically save you money and help you earn more money in our platform. So that's most of the perks are going to be in that sort of vein.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We will post this on our YouTube. You can always listen to it. You got on Twitter. And until next time, keep giddying up, y'all. Okay, we'll see ya.